Okay, in this section we're talking about interest. So I'm going to do a couple problems here. The first one is number 8. It's very similar to the problems that you need to do. We know that our formulas are interest equals principal times rate times time. And then if we know the interest, we can find the total amount by taking our principal and adding our interest. So for short, we say I equals PRT. Remember that time is in years and the rate is the annual rate. So let's fill in the numbers that we need. So for this one, I've got I equals principal, which is $1,500, times the rate as a decimal, so that's 0.14, and then for 2 years. So if I put that in my calculator, I'm going to get $420. That's the interest. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, for this one, again, I start with I equals PRT. I'm going to fill in my numbers. For this one, the principal is $1,850. The rate is 9.5%. So remember that when we change a percent to a decimal, we go 2 places to the left. So this is going to end up being 0.095. And then my time is 18 months. Don't make the mistake of putting an 18 there. We need the time in years. So 18 months is 1.5 years. So I could put 1.5, or if I wanted to, I could come over here and say 18/12, and then put that into my calculator, and that will give me my time in years. So if you divide by 12, that will give you the time in years. So going back here, if I put that into my calculator, I'm going to get 263.625. Now, because it's in dollars, I'm going to need to round to the nearest cent, and since that is a 5 or greater, my total will end up being $263.63. Okay, here's problem number 12 on page 301. If the interest is compounded annually, find the amount of interest earned each year and the balance at the end of the second year if $2,000 is invested at 4%. So the first thing I'm going to do is calculate the interest from the first year. So if I take I equals PRT, I get 2,000 times 0.04 times 1. That's the interest for the first year. So that's year 1. Now, the new amount that I have in my account is going to be my original $2,000 plus the interest, which is $80. So at the end of year 1, I've got $2,080. Okay, now I'm going to do the calculation again, but this time I'm going to calculate the interest on 2,080 because I get to earn interest on my interest. So principal times rate times time, and this time it's going to give me $83.20. Okay, now the reason that this interest for year 2 is more than from year 1 is because I'm getting paid interest on the interest. So to find my final amount at the end of the second year, I'm going to take my 2,080 and I'm going to add So this is another problem. This is page 301, number 26. It's again calculating compound interest, but this time we're going to use a formula. And my formula is S equals the principal times the quantity 1 plus the interest rate raised to the exponent n, where n represents the number of annual interest payments. So I'm going to take my formula, S equals P, and then 1 plus I raised to the nth. In my particular problem, I'm looking to find the amount, but my principal is 8,000. So I have 1 plus my interest rate, and my interest rate is 5%, so I'm going to write that as 0.05. And then it's 3 years, so that makes 3 annual payments, so that's going to be a 3. I can simplify that a little bit, so I've got 8,000 times 1.05 raised to the third power. Now, on your calculator, if you don't know how to use the exponent button on your calculator, or maybe your calculator doesn't have an exponent button, remember that this 3 just means to multiply 1.05 times itself 3 times. If you do that, you're going to get this quantity. Then you just need to take that and multiply it times 8,000, and what you end up with is $9,261. So again, in my calculator, I needed to take 8,000 times 1.05 times 1.05 times 1.05.